Benjamin here. Back here with another video. So it's been a while since we recorded something, so I'm sorry guys. So this video is for the charts of interest for the week of the 19th of July 2022. So guys, remember to like, share, comment there on our YouTube app channel. Also click the ring button there so you know that when we post a new video. So remember, these videos are mainly for educational purposes, not trading or investment advice. So people, they should not trade money they cannot afford to lose. So moving forward guys, remember to like, share, comment and subscribe there on our YouTube channel. So if you are going to be in Johannesburg or people that are around Gauteng, we will be hosting a session on the 29th of this month. So I will be doing an advanced class there in Johannesburg and Sentin there at Global GT head office. So you can RSVP with WhatsApp me on my number if you want to join us. So it's a free session for everybody, so you can attend. So guys, let us jump on it. The things that we're going to look at today, we're gonna look at Bitcoin, the dollar index, Nasdaq, the S&P 500. We're also going to check out the German 30, and then look at euro dollar, and then look at GBPUSD, and also look at WTI oil and gold, USDZAR. Then on the JSE side, we're going to look at the top 40, THUNGELA, GRINDSHIP, which is the shipping part of GRINDROD, and then look at MOTUS and MOTUS. So if you look at the economic calendar there, we see that there's still a lot of activity around the central banks this week, because we are going to see an inflation number that is going to be coming out from the UK this week, and then there's also a euro inflation number that is coming out as well. So there's still a lot of things that need to happen this week, including the European interest rates decision. Remember that the Eurozone haven't raised interest rates in more than a decade. So if it's possible, it will be the first time in over a decade they raise interest rates. So as the week goes on, there's another speakers that are going to be talking, and also some GBP numbers that are going to be coming out, and also the Canadian retail sales that are going to be coming out. So if we're looking at the charts there now, if we move and look at the charts, we would see that Bitcoin itself, it has tried to move a little bit higher, but it is still stuck in that range here between below that 21,000 mark. So this level is very important. So as much as other markets can be looking as if they are trying to be bottoming now, but in the case of Bitcoin, there's still a lot of things that are happening around there in Bitcoin, because one of the largest crypto exchanges there in the US, Coinbase, there's a story that came out over the weekend that Coinbase, they closed down their affiliate program there. So also Coinbase itself is having some liquidity problems there. So there's just still a lot of things that are surrounding the crypto market. So I'm still not convinced that Bitcoin is yet to bounce, but I think Bitcoin might still fall a little more further to $10,000 there. So if we're looking at the US dollar index, so the story of the dollar we had seen that the US dollar had made some extreme moves, moving higher, making new highs, and it reached that $108 mark. So if we're looking at the weekly charts, we are seeing that the dollar is still in a strong upward momentum right there. So we might see maybe the dollar trying to pull back, uh, coming back to retest this level that was right here, because it only broke off this level. It never came back to retest it. So we might see the dollar coming back to retest this level and then trying to move higher. So I think while the dollar is pulling back, it will give some stocks, the stock markets, sometimes a chance perhaps to breathe there, because a strong dollar, it's very, very bad for the stock market. So if we're looking at the S&P 500, I'm just trying to look at the positive notes of things, because most people are calling that the market has reached a bottom. So also myself, I'm trying to look at things in a different way. So I think maybe the recovery here on the S&P might happen, but depending on whether the Fed is still aggressive there on the rate hike, or depending whether the things that are happening there in Europe are improving or something like that. So this is just my theory. That's how the recovery might happen. We might see a move higher there on the S&P 500 to 4,200, and then the market might pull back to this level, and then it can shoot up. So this recovery might happen to 4,600, but I'm not convinced that the S&P will make new highs this year. I'm really not convinced that the S&P will trade above this high, which was 4,805, 4,818 points there. So that was the high, which was the January 3rd this year. But I don't think that level may be reached anytime soon. But a recovery is possible. So if we're looking at the next 100, almost a similar story here on the next 100, because if we can see these large companies like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, if you could see those companies trying to come back, we might actually see perhaps the tech-heavy Nasdaq recovering itself, because there's this head and shoulder pattern there is right here. So this is the left shoulder, and then this is the head, and then the market now is building the right side of the pattern. So we might actually see a move higher on the Nasdaq 100 to 12,550, even as high as 13,500. But again, on the Nasdaq, I don't see the market recovering fully, trading above the 16,000 level, which was the new high. So the recovery might happen, and then maybe when it reaches this 15,200 level, then the market might just move sideways. But I'm not convinced that it will trade above those levels. So if we're looking at the German DAX there, so the story of the German DAX, there's just a lot of things that are happening there in Europe, but if we're looking at these charts, we are seeing that the market did this triple bottom formation. So it first touched this here, and then the market came back to touch here, and then it touched here again. There at that level at the 12,388. So we might actually see even the German DAX perhaps recovering, moving to 14,000, or even as high as 14,890. But I don't see it trading above that level, because there's still a lot of things that are happening in Germany per se. So still a lot of things that are happening in Europe because of the gas shortages problem, the energy problem that they are currently having. So if you're looking at the FTSE 100, which is the UK 100, So the FTSE 100 also has possibly a similar story as the German DAX there, because there's this level that is right here. So the market has touched this level. So maybe it created something like a bottom here. We might see even the FTSE 100 maybe um, moving from where it's trading now, and maybe to go higher, maybe come back to touch here, because the FTSE 100 is actually didn't recover very much in regards of what the other indices did, like the Nasdaq, the S&P 500. After the corona pandemic, the FTSE didn't recover that much, because it did had its own problems, like the Brexit thing, and also the prime ministers, they are being changed. In the space of 2 years, there's been like 2 prime ministers there in the UK. So now they are in a process of having a third prime minister in the space of 2 years. And if you could even go back, um, the last guy who was the prime minister, he left his job, I think, in 2016 or 17, and then after Theresa May, it was this guy Boris Johnson. So now they are in line of having a third prime minister there in the UK. So if we're looking at the currencies, let us look at euro dollar. So the story of euro dollar, where we did see a euro dollar making some serious moves, uh, trading below the parity level, which is the $1 mark, where 1 euro is equal to $1. So it did trade below that level and reached 0.9950, but now it actually trades above that level. So euro dollar in line with the US dollar itself pulling back. So we might see some little recovery here on euro USD, maybe coming to retest this level, and then maybe after retesting this level, you might actually see euro USD continuing to go back down, because this is a head and shoulder pattern, so it's coming back to retest the neckline there. So if we're looking at cable, which is GBPUSD. So almost these major currency pairs, they have been deteriorated by the strength of the US dollar, but now I'm seeing things maybe trying to actually improve. But the market, I'll do a separate video that says the things that need to improve before the markets bounce back up. So if we're looking at cable there, GBPUSD, we are seeing there's this structure that is right here. I did this chart a few days ago. So the market is pulling up, and then it's pulling back, and then we might see cable actually moving higher to maybe to 1.2200 level. So this is the 4-hour chart. So this coming here, perhaps by tomorrow or by Friday, the target could be actually reached. So unless anything happens globally. So as much as we have spoken about euro dollar, GBP USD, let us look at the story of WTI, because now everything has been falling the past week now. Everything has been falling the past week. Stocks were falling, even oil was falling, the dollar was going higher. So it ended up not making sense. The market ended up not making much sense in the past. I'm still convinced, me personally, I'm still convinced that the oil story, oil is still going to go up. Oil is still going to trade and move to extreme levels. So we did see a WTI trading and touching the 115 level, but I'm still convinced that by year end we might see oil trading $850 dollars per barrel. So that is just in line with the structure that is right here. And this was the head and shoulder pattern. So this part right here perhaps can be a continuation of this market going to the $850 dollars per barrel, even as high as 175. So the story of gold, on our previous video we did say gold was going to fall, and it did exactly that, and we might see some more weakness there on gold, because I really cannot explain this thing, because most of the time when the stock market is falling, and gold and the Japanese yen usually become safe havens, but this time around things are just happening things are just happening otherwise. So gold is trading at this level. You might actually see gold moving lower to 1,476 per ounce. So gold shooting again, as I see you, that safe haven as everybody thought it was. So if we can look at now at our own USDZAR. So the story of USDZAR, it's just painful for us here in South Africa, because we've been seeing our currency just weakening, and for months I've been talking about this structure that 1750 is on the cards, and it did actually touch that level. I'm not happy that the USDZAR touched that level, honestly, because inflation is also a problem for us here in South Africa. So as much as we trade to make money in the markets, but sometimes when these things happen, we are human at the end of the day. So if we're seeing our currency weakening, inflation is on steroids, unemployment in South Africa is very high. So seeing our first line of defense, which is the rand, being deteriorated like this, it's just not a happy place to be in, or something good to actually see. Because even if you're looking at the JSE top 40, the other markets are like those S&P 500s, those German indices, and the Nasdaq. Their structure, it's looking like it's going to recover. But if we're looking at the structure of our own, which is the top 40, it's actually not looking good, because this level, which is the 59,000 right here, if this level can break, the JSE top 40 is going to come to that 50,000 level, and if that level doesn't hold, we can see our stock markets even going even lower. So if you're looking at other JSE listed equities, let's look at THUNGELA. So the story of THUNGELA. So THUNGELA was spun off from I think Anglo American, if I'm not mistaken. So THUNGELA, I think this is just one of those beautiful companies. At least if you can buy this one, even buy some more THUNGELA, we can see since coal is also on the markets these days, everybody's talking about coal. So THUNGELA there is a company that digs coal and also supplies it globally. So THUNGELA, just buy more THUNGELA, and then wait. And the next one that we need to check out is GRINDSHIP. So we are on our previous video, we actually looked at the grind rate itself, but now we are going to look at the shipping side of things. So it's grind rate shipping. So when I did this chart on Sunday, it actually looked as if this level looks important, whether grind rate will bounce on this level and then try to move higher. So yeah, this level is very, very interesting for grind rate. So it has to hold for it to move higher. So I think this here is an order block. Maybe we can see some buyers right there. So after grind rate, let us look at MOTUS. So MOTUS. Actually, my late father worked for this company for some time. So let us check out the stock. What is actually happening here with MOTUS. So my father worked for this company. But the Mercedes division of the company. So Motors, we might actually see this stock actually trying to move higher, maybe trading above the 135 rand, even 157. The extension can even move to 181 rand per share. So Motors, it's actually looking good. The structure is telling us that the market is going to move higher. So the last one, let us look at Karu. So guys, remember that we are going to be in Johannesburg on the 29th. So please do come through on that free session. We'll be dropping some serious heavy technical analysis things on that day. So I'm doing it in partnership with Global GT. So Global GT is a broker that I recommend to people, that I also use myself. But remember that these videos are only for educational purposes, not trading or investment advice. So Stocks for Hope or even Global GT will not be liable for any profits made or lost from the information that you see on this video. But if you are doing good, then it's good for you. If you are not doing very good, but I think the things that we talk about here, it's just information to inform people on how we think about markets. So Karu, going to see Karu, which was formerly Cartrack, so they changed the name to Karu. So the structure is telling us that maybe a bounce here, and then you can see Karu trading at 42 rand, 48 rand or 50 bucks, even as high as 56 rand 56 cents. So guys, that is pretty much the charts of interest for this week. Remember, subscribe, like, share, and comment on our videos. And also guys, remember that we do have so a private channel, which like we post charts, we post signals daily. So for daily stocks it's 550, the Gentleman's Club it's 550, and then if you want both FX and stocks it's just 850. And we also do one-on-one mentorships there as well. We host with the 3000 Lapo. We just sit for a whole week. I sit down with you for a whole week, we do charts, I show you how I do things. So guys, thank you. Ngiyabonga. Absheni. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes, not trading or investment advice. So thank you guys. I'll definitely see you on the next video.